Alright, so basically, if you've ordered one of our racks, this is pretty much what it's going to look like when it comes to your front door. So first things first is you're just going to pop this lid off, and we'll go over everything that's inside. Ideal thing to do is once you take the lid off, break these staples off, and that way you have a nice flat surface to basically lay everything out on. Inside the box, you're going to have this long box in the middle. It's going to have your bed rails, your two back pieces, your two fronts. This longer box is your crossbars, and the smaller box is going to be for your legs. And so basically what we've done is laid out a separate rack. This is pretty much what it'll look like outside the box and laid out. So this is a lid. We've just got it nice and laid out so you can see everything, and we'll start assembling it. All right, so in your box, in your crossbar box, you're going to have all these different packages with all the hardware. So we'll start with this one. This is going to have your 1/2-inch bolts that is going to assemble the rack together. You're going to have your hardware to put the 3x6 pads that are attached to the bottom of the legs. This hardware will attach the bed rails to the bottom of the pads that go onto the truck. And then this is your mounting hardware. You're going to have your 4 non-drill mount pads and your bolts that go with it. And in this you're going to need a 1/2-inch wrench, 1/2-inch socket, a number 3 screwdriver, a 7/16 socket, a 7/16 wrench, and then if you've got an impact, it just makes it a little easier, number 3 tip. On this, you're going to need your 5/16 Allen. You can have a manual or you can have one for the impact, makes it a little bit faster. And then you're going to have your 4 1/2-inch safety pins that go in your rear bar. So if you do with yours, these don't come standard, but if you order the ratchet straps, you're going to end up with 4 of these brackets and your 4 ratchet straps, with your 4 mounting hardware to mount these to the rack, and your 4 bolts to mount the ratchet straps to the brackets. And for that you'll need a 5/8 socket and a 5/8 wrench to attach these to the brackets. And then you'll need a 1/2-inch socket and 1/2-inch wrench to attach your bolts through these. Alright, so first things first, doesn't matter what side you start off on, but you're going to take your front portion. You're going to put your leg on. The front legs have the sticker, and so what you're wanting is basically, you've got a larger surface area on the pad, you're wanting that to face backwards towards the back leg. Just like that. So your sticker should be to the outside. You're going to take your 1.5 inch, they're the longer ones. Hand thread them in first so that you make sure that they're spinning correctly in the threads. You don't want to gall them up. And then you can take your 5/16 Allen on your impact. Fasten those up. Do the same thing with the back section. I'm just going to hold that. Hand start the screw. Now on your bolts, these don't have it, but on your bolts it'll actually have like a white thread around it, and that's going to be your Loctite. So once you screw these in, they won't ever be able to come back out. All right, once you've got your legs on, you're basically going to assemble these 2 pieces together. All right, so they should slide in nice and easy, just like so. Same thing, you're going to use your 2 longs. Start it by hand, making sure that they're getting into the threads properly. Like so. And you'll set this one off to the side. set it down on this on the ground just to protect it. It should just hold itself. And then you just basically repeat the process for the passenger side. All right, once you have those two pieces together, you'll take your middle crossbar, which is the one that has the two holes, one on each side. You're gonna face them back towards the back of the rack. Go ahead and install the one. And while he holds that side, you'll just take this one. Slide that one on. Sometimes too helps leave one side loose so you can kind of adjust it to where it needs to be. Once you get them both started. So next, you're going to take your removable bar and just simply put all 4 pins in. Just like so. And last but not least, just putting your front bar on. Now there is a difference on this, so you'll see we call these razor bars or wind deflectors. And so one side's going to be up higher and one side's going to be down below. You want to make sure that that razor bar is down so that when you're putting your material on the top, it's not interfering with these. And this one you just kind of simply slide it in. This is where the hammer comes in. Just get those lined up. And this is where your hardware package is going to have 10 of the longer screws, and you're going to have 4 shorter ones. Your shorter ones are going to be used up here in the front. Okay, and this is where a hand Allen is going to come into effect. So you'll just need basically a standard 5/16 Allen for these ones on the inside because you can't reach it with the drill. You just pull it till it's nice and snug. Then you can use your, if you have it, a 5/16 socket Allen, and you can tighten these in with that. And just repeat it with the other side. All right, so that's basically how you put the rack together, and last is just putting your bed rails on. Easiest way to do it, set your bed rails off to the side. Utilize your cardboard that you already have laid out. And we'll flip the rack upside down. You're going to have a back side and a front side. And they just have 2 different notches. and you're wanting your 3-inch side to go basically to the inside. So you'll set this up on here. All right, so basically as you're setting these up, just choose what kind of truck it's for. So for a Chevy, you're gonna have these set to the inside holes. And for a Ford, it's the outside holes. Same thing in the back. It's just the exact opposite. For a Chevy, it's the outside holes. And for a Ford, it's the inside holes. Okay, so you'll start by just starting at any hole, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go screw through, washer, then a nylock, and then the cap nut. Just do that to all 4 holes, okay? And then once you have those in, set to whatever truck that you're putting it on, then you'll do your back. For this particular one, it's going to be to the inside holes. Okay, and then you'll basically do the exact same thing to the other side. All right, so at this point, all you'll need is your 7/16 socket or wrench, whichever one you have. And you'll just tighten these down nice and snug. Normally, like on mine, I've got 3 different settings because you don't want to tighten these things too hard. So I normally set it to the medium. You just want it to pull up against that lock washer until it sits flat. And just do that to all 4 pads. All right, so once you have that, you can flip the rack back up, right side up, and we'll go ahead and put it on the truck and install it. So, with the help of another person, you just get it close to the truck. Our racks are super lightweight. You have one person get up in the truck, and you'll set that bed rail down on the back side, just like so. And then you'll grab this center bar, and you just pick up, scoot it in. Just like so. You'll have what's called a non-drill pad mount. Your bed rails will come pre-drilled with 8 holes. And so what you'll do is you'll take this pad, essentially put it up underneath, and then bolt with your hardware up underneath and pull them tight. And that'll pull it close to the bed. Rack can't come up, can't slide back and forth, and you're good to go. All right, so you're gonna have this hardware in your box, and all you're doing is putting this pad behind, through bolting. Just let that dangle. Same thing on the other hole. That's it. And then you just basically pull those as tight as it'll let you go. On another note, sometimes bed covers or bed liners are shaped a little bit differently, and with our truck racks, this notch is supposed to go up as tight as it can to the bulkhead to leave enough room for the tailgate to close. So if it's sliding forward and the tailgate's hitting the back bed rail, you might have to potentially take some snips and actually cut your plastic so that this can slide forward enough to clear your tailgate. And once you got all 4 of your pads bolted in, you're gonna want to make sure
too is, if you can, just close the tailgate just to make sure while you're tightening it that it doesn't enter, the rack doesn't interfere with your tailgate.